3. Olá! Hello! Hello, hello, hello. There we go. Everything's working? Yep. Okay. So, hello and welcome, thinkers, and everybody that is not a thinker but loves thinking. It is a honor for us to have you here, person interested in thinking and exploring the world of intellect, where the social barriers give up and disappear for a while we take the time to have a trip in the world of knowledge without end. You can interact at any moment with tips or comments, and you can make questions. Also, you can become a member entering on the Patreon for €5 a month with lots of rewards to enjoy, or you can become a star and be a thinker. Welcome home. Feel free to be comfortable, sit comfortable, and enjoy your trip. You can start by entering on the portal, looking the mini dictionary that we sometimes use, and they are on the description. The thinkers of today are João Rangel Silva, a young intellectual in the beginning of his career that is in love with the world of knowledge, and a psychology student, just like Marisabel Fernandes, psychology student in the University of Maya. Today we are going to talk a little bit about the journey of the hero, and we are going to start with some reflection that I made about the unconscious and symbols and how they influence and interact with culture, and that's how we can look at art as a reflection of the culture and try to interpret it in some ways to see where's the truth. I think that's a good way to put it out. So I wrote here a text, and I will do my best to not use the text, just through my mind. So after reading this book from Carl Jung, Man and His Symbols, I feel that we can easily detect and see that symbols are literally everywhere. Everything has the potential to be a symbol, meaning has the potential for us to be a portal where we enter in the world of what that thing means truly and really. And even though, well, at the beginning it can be hard to know what the symbols mean, and at some point we can even say maybe that the symbol, it always means something more than what we think we know. That can be true. But as we practice in ourselves, as we gain more self-knowledge, I believe we can explore and know and understand even more the world around us, meaning culture and society. And I will give you an example that everybody can understand, I believe, and it shows maybe where you can start to enter on this world, which is looking at a retract. I hope that's the right translation. Retract, meaning a picture, an image drawn by some artists during the Second World War, for example, and reading a book from the Second World War, for example, or reading a lot from that time, we can make some connections between what we read and the symbols of the picture. For example, if the picture retracts and shows the symbolism of the Second World War, well, we may start by analyzing the symbols of that image by looking at the blood. Where is the blood? Which color is the blood? And make some associations between what we read from the Second World War, what happened, the pain, and to retract. And we can enter that world how it really was through imagination. And we go back in time and see how people really lived. But if there's no information, well, it's harder to enter that world. And if there is no knowledge about the power of symbols, well, the person will not enter on that portal. Will be just, well, something that is randomly appearing in front of the person, right? So I think that's an excellent example to start. But we can even look at ourselves and see or try to enter on the portal of what this means. Which a symbol is that? Is something that represents something. And behind the representation, it is the meaning. And there was an idea that I had the opportunity to be presented with, that it was the idea of how you do the small things is how you do the big things, which I believe is an amazing idea. And this idea was shown to me like this way. There was a graph with 4 bars. The first bar that was distantiated from the other 3 bars, and this bar had a length, right? It has some length. It can be taller, less taller, and the other 3 that were distantiated from this one of them had the same length. So it had the same length, and the others were different. One taller, other less taller. And when was the time to see this graph, we saw this graph really fast, like even less than a second, like what, 300 milliseconds, 200 milliseconds. It was really fast. And next, the talker, the person that was sharing this idea with us, and at this point we didn't even know what the hell he was doing, but then he asked, guys, which bar do you think it has the same length to the first one? The second one, who think it was the second one that had the same length to the first one? Second one, people raise up the hand. Third one, and the others that did not reply. Why did you not reply? And how that pattern repeats over your life. You do not win because you don't even try. Boom. In my mind, it was magical, because that's really what happens in lots of people's lives, right? How they do the small things, it can be a mirror of they do big things. In a small presentation where you are just one more person in the middle of the audience, you don't risk to say if it was the second one, the third one, or the fourth one that was the equal to first one because of fear. I don't even try. It's just a joke. How that can reflect bigger things. And it is amazing. For me, it became like a portal. And I got to see this later in my life. In the perfect example, it was like, yeah, I'm really fucked up. In the sense that it was really so obvious what was happening to me. And Marisabel already knows, because we were talking this in Portuguese a few minutes earlier, but I will tell you that you are watching right now. I will tell you that I was putting like a cup of cereals in it, but it didn't have any cereals at the time. It was empty. I already washed the cup, and I was putting in the place where you save the cups. And just one moment before I let down the cup, I felt like an impulse. Oh, I won't let the cup here. I will have to put it on the other side, which is a thing that makes no sense, right? Because it's just a cup. It doesn't matter if it is on the right, on the left, in the middle. It's just a cup. I'm going to save the cup to use it later. It doesn't matter. But the fact that I was so confident when putting the cup, and milliseconds before I let the cup, I was like having this hesitation in changing to put on the other side. It was really a symbolism of what was happening in my more serious life, let's say. In bigger things, how you do the small things is how you do big things. Because in the projects, I planned doing things in a certain way, but at the time I was about to do it, I felt the necessity to do it differently, a little bit. It's just like doing a presentation. I have everything prepared, I look down, yeah, it's right. But at the time I start the presentation, oh no, I can't do this. I have to talk the other side because this way is wrong. And it wasn't, but I felt that. It was amazing. It was unbelievable how that was clear to me. And you can ask how I fixed that. Well, I think when the path to fix that I used to fix that, it was I planned it this way I'm going to do it no matter what. Even if it feels so fucking wrong, I'm going to do it. Dun. Dun, 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 dun. And then look back and say, yeah, that's right. And with repetition, it got better and better and better. And I still have some light symptoms of this in my head, not in the act of putting the cup of cereal, but it's really interesting to see how it was a portal to confirm what I already knew, that I was making something that well isn't wrong, and it was a little bit more complex than this. It's just a simplification, but it is really amazing to notice this and to see this in ourselves. How can small things be a symbol of something a lot bigger? Okay, and a lot bigger can be in the real world sense, and the objective results, like the results I will get to do my presentations and do my videos and projects, as also in the emotional side, because we can do like this sign, and we know it's something good, but we don't really exactly know what the hell it means. We know something good, but we don't know never exactly what that person means with that. We just know partial information about what that means. It means yes, dichotomically, but well, that in between those yeses, that yes, we can say that there is a more complex path that is going on there, because it's yes, well, but it's not a completely bloody full yes, because there's always some implications to full yes, right? It's like when somebody comes to my house, I say, feel like if you're at your house. That's true, but only until a certain point, right? Because why? Because that phrase, it has some meaning, but it has more meaning than we think we know, because it's always a lot more than feel like you are on your house, because it's not literally means that, but it means like it can mean, for example, it can mean that I want to put you at rest, at ease, feel comfortable. Because of course, with some people, if they literally behaved like they were on their house, people will want them maybe on our house, right? So I believe that's a nice portal to things. And Jung said that symbols have these it has something that is bigger than ourselves. We cannot understand them consciously, because it has unconscious meanings, like something that is bigger than we can conceptualize. And it is true to some point, but I also believe that depending on what we are talking, we can improve our knowledge to access this knowledge, because, well, I can access sufficient knowledge on myself to understand what that small act of putting the cup of cereals in the place and having that hesitance mean to me. But we can also say there's always more. But well, I think it's a good thing to know, because well, you could say that it wasn't possible to access it consciously, because it was going to be painful, and because I didn't even knew the meanings of symbols. But after we have the knowledge and self-knowledge and confidence on our knowledge, we can more easily enter on that portal of what it means. I think it's an amazing thing. And we can also see this in contemporary forms of art, as music. Well, I think it's a lot obvious also to enter on this portal, which is the person that has a breakup goes listen to some breakup music where the lyrics are the words the person cannot say. And because the person cannot say, it is going to look for some type of expression of what the person feels, but it's not so direct, it's indirectly. So the person is going to listen to some music and it feels understood. And it feels that is expressing yourself to the world what the person is feeling. And we are persons that like to, well, communicate what we are feeling. And that happens all the time. If the person cannot communicate something verbally because it's too painful for the person, for example, the person will communicate or show to you in other different ways. For example, a person that is showing expressions of anger at the time and full of energy, but saying, I am not angry. And it's full of energy, showing facial expressions of anger, increasing their voice, but say, I'm not angry. Well, but you see, and you can see a lot of meaning in there, like like this whole conjunction of symbols, facial expressions, and you know what facial expressions means, the increase in their voice, and you know what increasing in voice means in that context, and how that phenomena, well, will help you clear the path of understanding what's going there. Well, the person is saying that he's not mad and he's not mad, but is all showing signs of madness and anger. So it is truthfully good to understand the symbolisms. And for that we have, well, to know things and to read and to listen to intellectual clubs like this. So stay tuned and subscribe if you are enjoying this episode. I want to continue with a phrase that I listened to from a Portuguese artist, which is a comedian. His name is Pedro Alves, and he said on the stage, guys, we came here to tell things that are in the back of your head, but you don't have courage to say, so we are going to say, because here it is acceptable, well, because this is a show. And it means exactly what humor and comedy transmits and other types of art. It's exactly that. Well, it's exactly that, at least in some point, because of course it's not absolute, right? Some things are not completely absolute, but you can understand what's the truth. It means this phrase. Okay, and yeah, it takes courage. I believe it also takes the courage to face the shadow, our shadow, and when we face our shadow, it's also easier to see the shadow of others, and I think that's part of the hero myth that Marisabel is going to talk about now.
Hi, João. Hello.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I should have gave you opportunity sooner to say hello. We have to
Oh, that's
work.
okay.
We have to work on that on the Readers Club. Like the time to say hello, guys, hello, guys, hello, guys. It's the same on the Portuguese one. That's the thing to work out.
Okay. Um, well, you said very well, and I like it when you bring this notion about simple things and big things. They are related. I agree totally. Our
Mm.
attitudes, how we sometimes make our beds, and we try to do our best in simple ordinary things, and this is gonna be the same in big tasks. I have this experience. I have
Mm.
me personally experienced things like this, and I see in many people.
Oh,
uh,
interesting.
yes, it, small attitudes shows me about this person. And when I was working in an office, we see all kind of people in the company, and I was all the time trying to pay attention, and people that like to do the table, to organize and do things. And it's all, oh, okay, this person is meticulous, this person take cares of things, and okay, I'm gonna ask for this person to do the job with me. So very, very interesting, really.
Yeah, it makes sense, right? If the person is meticulous in small things, he's probably going to maintain his behavior on bigger things. It's amazing to see that on ourselves and on the others. It's certainly a tool that helps to understand others and us more completely. and getting closer to the truth as well.
Yes. And now is it the time to?
Yes, it's the time. It's the time.
It's the time.
It's the time. I finalized saying that I saw you were talking with your husband, I believe, but I was finalizing with this, that sometimes we can see the shadow in in other in others and in ourselves. I don't know why you're laughing. It's okay.
It's the shadows in the hall.
Yeah, I see the shadows right behind you. You can see the shadow.
It was my son, not my husband. He was
Yeah,
looking for his documents.
yeah, okay. I was just saying because I noticed that you were talking to somebody, and I was saying that sometimes we can, yeah,
It's my son.
sons, yeah.
Sorry.
Okay. Sometimes as we see these small symbols and other bigger and other symbols, we can access the shadow of the other person in some way. And when we understand that, or if we understand that, I think, well, we try to bring the person upper. But to see the shadow in others, it is helpful, of course, to know our shadow. Or seeing the shadow in others can also be a useful tool to see our shadow. And integrating that and helping the world move towards, I think that's part of the hero myth that we are going to talk about now. And I was saying this in the example of a person that it is saying, I am not mad, but the person is showing constantly signals that is mad. The person is showing anger, facial expressions. The person is talking louder. The person is with lots of energy. I am not mad, and I am not mad. You know? So every symbol that the person transmits, because you know what means anger, facial expressions. You know what means increasing in voice. You know what means the moving with more energy on that context. So because you know what those symbols mean, well, you can see that the person is mad, but he cannot show to you, and that's a perfect point to communicate, is that sometimes persons don't know how to say something to you directly, but they always tell you. It is just not verbally, it is through other symbols like this. I am not mad. Well, I am, but I can't show it to you. So I am communicating with you with my facial expression, with my increasing voice, with my body. And I think that's part of the hero myth, to notice that, the shadow in others and in yourself, and to move the world upwards, like help the other person, help yourself. That's part of the hero myth, I believe.
Yes, the hero myth is more about this. An example to follow. Sometimes you see, you try to fight against demons, against dragons, but in real you are fighting with your shadow. We are fighting with our shadows, our problems, and the myth of a hero is about this: is to know exactly who I am, and to know the others, like you said, and try to understand those things, me and myself and my context, and to get power and to overcome the future problems and things you need to fight for, because our lives like this, everybody, everyone is fighting for something. We are fighting all the time, our survival, for our health, or sometimes for our wealth. But we 1 degree we are fighting for something. And the myth of the hero, it's great because it's a process. When you have uh, the beginning with the children, with the, playing, and it's growing. It's like us. It's our ego is growing when we are fighting with these fears, these situations. Do you understand? Is it clear?
So our fears are like when we are playing in childhood. I didn't understand that. Sorry, can you not? Can you repeat? It wasn't very clear to me. Comparing, especially to the Portuguese version that you brought me, yeah, I was very confused.
Which one? The
This thing that you just said right now, the first phase of the hero myth is like when the child is growing.
Okay, because the hero myth
And
we as I said in Portuguese, we have
well,
four cycles.
you do how you want. I'm just saying because I wasn't making the connection right now
With the Portuguese.
with all the information. I don't need you to follow exactly the same paths.
Okay. Because the myth of the hero in the Carl Jung's book in Men and the Symbols, we have four cycles of the myth of the hero. We have the first one, trickster, when the hero is in the beginning of his life, and so it's like a child with a lot of uh, not so good behaviors and this kind of things. Okay. The second cycle is Hari, when we have when our hero here is uh, is learning about life, about civilization, about everything. It's more growth. And we have the third cycle, it's red horn, when we have the architect, architect, I forgot the word now. But we have the hero properly. When he fights for he fights against the dragons or against the evil, whatever. And we have the fourth cycle, the last one, with twins, when the hero is empowered and sometimes he has to sacrifice himself because his behavior is not so good because he's abusing of the power. So it's a process. It starts in the childhood, from childhood to the maturity of the person. So it's like us, it's totally like us. We are growing and we are overcoming a lot of things and we are with our better and it's a good tool to know this myth because we can associate to our lives and empower ourselves with the association with the meaning of the hero myth, like courage, like enthusiasm, and but a lot of things. So we can use this conscience when we are watching a movie about a hero or when we are reading a book about a hero and what uh, um, a fictional or a person, a real person. So this is why the myth of the hero is so used nowadays people use all the time in some brands like Nike, and in this art you told about art. So we see all the time this kind of narratives. Is it more clear now?
Oh yes, the first part that we were talking about, it got clear, and you had about a whole bunch of more context to the hero of the myth. It was clear to me.
Okay, so
You want to add
go ahead.
something more? Go for it.
No, I'm just ending this part. The importance of the hero myth lies in its ability to inspire and motivate people. By identifying with a hero, an individual can find strength and courage to face their own challenge.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And do you have more questions?
Oh no, I thought you were going to continue.
Ah. No.
Okay.
I summarized it because it was a big text in Portuguese. So here I put everything in a small text with the 4 cycles of the myth of the hero and how it can transform us psychologically and our behavior when we identify ourselves with these heroes.
Oh, it's good to identify ourselves with these heroes, and it
Mm-hmm.
helps us to activate the archetype of the myth of the hero. And one example that you talked about in the Portuguese version was also to look at heroes that we have, that they can activate in us, that feel that urge to conquer the world, and let's fucking go.
Yeah, totally.
That is very good. Changing topic, it's unfortunate that to the English version you reduce the text, man.
Yeah.
Me and
Because
the others, we are disappointed. We are.
it was so big in Portuguese.
Oh. I think we also deserve in English. But anyways,
maybe.
but you know what you do. No, not me, not us.
Maybe for the first for the next chapter, I bring a lot of.
Okay. Well, I think that's then for today. You want to add one more thing? Is Isabel?
No, for me, it is okay.
Okay. Well, in that case, I think and hope that these thoughts inspired you in some way, or to help you to have a more in-depth understanding of things, made some insights. I hope that was the case. If you have any suggestions and want to make any comments, please do so. Thank you so much, and as always, good luck. Bye bye.
Bye bye.